What's your $1 silver certificate worth? So these silver certificates were issued by the US that could be exchanged for silver dollars back in the day. They were first authorized by the Currency Act of 1878, where they were initially redeemable for silver dollar coins. After 1963, $1 silver certificates could no longer be redeemed for silver, but they continued to circulate as legal tender until they were officially discontinued in 1968. Let's hop right into this video with this first 1928 $1 silver certificate bill. Now this was the first year the US started producing small size paper money was in 1928. Before that we had large size bills which were much larger than the typical paper money that you'll see today. This example sold for $3,360. Now the majority of the $1 silver certificates that we see are not this valuable. This one also happens to be an XB experimental block. So if you have a 1928B $1 silver certificate with the serial number that starts with an X and it ends with a B, you have an experimental block. Without getting into too many details, the BEP would run experiments back in the day, whether they were testing paper quality or different inks or anything like this. They were running an experiment and this serial number range just so happened to be in the experimental block. So that in combination with a very high grade of a 67 allowed this silver certificate from 1928 to sell for $3,360, $9,600. So this 1935A silver certificate got graded by PCGS at a 65 PPQ. So there's a few things here I want to cover. First of all, this is a star note. Now the star happens when a banknote sheet of paper money has an error on it, and a quality control manager will spot that error and destroy that sheet of paper money. Once they produce a new sheet to replace it, they need to have a star on the serial number. That star signifies that this is a replacement note for an error on a sheet. They need to have these for bookkeeping purposes to make sure that there's no theft or anything bad happening at the BEP where they produce paper money. Everything has checks and balances to make sure everything is accounted for. This example is also another experimental note. You can see, if you haven't noticed already, there's a red R on this bill. There's also some that have a red S. So if your 1935 $1 bill has a red R or a red S on it, you have another experimental silver certificate that's more rare than typical. This one sold for $9,600, $10,200. So this is a later year 1957 $1 silver certificate bill. Once again, 1957 is not really going to be an ultra rare date. This is not something that is going to have a ton of value unless there's something about your $1 bill that makes it rare. This example has a really cool serial number that people want to go after. They want it in their collection. That's why something like this is going to bring a lot of value. Typical 1957 $1 bills are not that rare, but we think they're ultra cool. So if you have one, keep it very safe, because these banknotes back in the day, you used to be able to turn them into a bank for equal value of silver. That is such a cool thing. Now here we have a bill that sold for $18,600. That's a massive amount of money for this bill. This one got graded by PMG at a 53. Typically, the more folds that you have on your bill, the lower the grade is going to be. If you have 3 hard folds on your bill, that's mostly going to drop the bill down to a 45 or a 40 based on how the bill looks. Now one thing you'll notice on this banknote is the centering. You can see the top margin versus the bottom margin. There's barely any white there at the bottom. Now centering only really matters if your bill has no folds. So the grade has nothing to do at all with the centering on this specific bill. Like I said, if there was no folds, then the centering comes into play. We actually have a completely free ebook that goes over all things you need to know about paper money grading and handling and values. There also has a whole section about coins in there. You can pick that up down below. It's completely free. But the main reason why this bill sold for so much money is because it's a 1928 C. So you can see the C after the date there is a very rare series, in combination with the fact that this is a star note and it's a relatively high grade at an about uncirculated 53, allowed this rare 1928 C $1 silver certificate to sell for $18,600. Getting more and more rare here. This is a 1928 E $1 silver certificate star note graded by PMG at a 50 EPQ. So EPQ means that it has exceptional paper quality. As soon as you have a tear, a pinhole, a stain, anything negative like that that hurts the paper quality, you will not get the EPQ grade. EPQ will increase the value of your note, so make sure you don't tear your banknotes. I know it sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised what I've seen. This example, because it's so rare and it got such a high grade, it sold for $30,000. Now if you have a 1928 E $1 banknote, you're going to want want to contact a rare paper money expert. You don't want to mess around with the pawn shop. They will scam you. They will rip you off. No offense if you're a pawn shop owner watching this video, but guys, you got to find someone trustworthy. 100%. You don't want to get ripped off on something like this. The last thing, we hear stories all the time, guys, about people bringing a rare banknote to a pawn shop, the pawn shop owner offering them a few $100s, later to find out that same banknote is worth $30,000. It happens literally all the time. We actually have a group called the Coin Value Club down below. You can send us pictures of your paper money or your coins. You'll have direct access to me. So if you have a rare bill, you can get direct access to me. I'll help you sell it for the most money possible, or whatever you want to do with it. I'll guide you in the right direction. The last thing I want for anyone is for them to get scammed and ripped off. That is our main goal here with Old Money Prices. We've been doing this for quite a long time now. We know what we're talking about, and it selfishly gives me a lot of purpose and joy getting one over on these scammers. You know, I don't like seeing innocent people getting scammed and ripped off. So please, if you have a rare bill and you know it's rare, just please don't just randomly sell it to the first person that offers you money. You want to maximize that value, or at least put it in the hands of someone that you can trust, someone that's going to guide you in the right direction and morally care about you and not just trying to make a quick dollar. Guys, do your homework, do your research, find someone trustworthy. Don't just rush into this stuff. Hope this video helped you guys out. We'll see you in the next one.